All right, so you obviously want to make money off of credit cards if you clicked on this video. So let's just get right into it, no BS. All right, so the first thing I want to mention in this video is the absolute amazing tool of credit card bonuses. Essentially, there's a lot of cards out there that will pay you money to sign up for their credit card. Just with this strategy alone, I've literally made multiple thousands of dollars, and all you have to do for most of these is just do a few sign-up bonus qualifications, which is like spend $2,000 within 3 months or something like that. And what you do is you don't go out of your way and spend money. Essentially what you do is you just put your normal expenses on this card, or you wait until you know you're gonna have a big expense coming up, and then you just put that on the one card by itself, and then you collect your bonus. And by the way, for everything in this video, I will be linking in the description and the comments down below. So if you want to find some references, you can go down there. You can make some money right off of this video. Right off the bat, I also want to mention how I've actually made thousands of dollars, not just off of credit cards, but off of what the credit cards give me. Is that all the things that the credit cards directly give you, what you can do with that money is invest in it, because there's an opportunity cost if you just think of this as free fuck around money, which you can, but you can optimize that to where you can put this money into a separate investing account, which is what I do, and just watch it grow. And basically it can pay dividends that can buy you the things you wanted to anyways, and you can actually see your gains compound in the correct direction, because a lot of people are actually going in the opposite direction with credit cards. However, with this strategy, you could be using them to your advantage and to boost your portfolio value. In addition to this, a lot of companies, when you sign up with their credit card, will actually give you a few months with 0% interest. Now, you have to find the right ones, and you have to make sure they're legit. And you also, for a lot of these, have to make sure that there isn't a fee that's going to override your gains. And if there is, you have to make sure it's justified, or you cancel the card. And this 0% is not so you can buy shit you can't afford. Everything in this video, you must have the cash to buy, or just don't even listen. Just don't get a credit card. You don't need it. You don't got enough money for a credit card, even though that's how some people use it. Now, what I would do with a 0% interest credit card would be put large expenses on it. I couldn't do that, for example, with this card because I bought it private sale. But if I were to put a down payment on it at a dealership, for example, or something like that, it would have been pretty tempting to put it on a 0% card, because what you could do is simply put that in a savings account. Now, you might be wondering why not throw that extra money into a brokerage account? And the reason for that is there isn't enough risk reward there to make it worth it. The extra couple percent that you're going to be making in the stock market is not going to actually, well, I guess potential. You don't even know if it's actually legit. Not worth the risk of losing and then having to recoup that gain. What I'd recommend is just using untold HYSA. You can find these for anywhere between 3 and 4% nowadays, and they're absolutely wonderful tools. Now, for example, I'm going to Taiwan in the summer, and if I put that vacation, which is like, 20 grand or whatever, on a 0% card, what I can do is pay it off in 6 to 12 months instead of just instantly. And in that time, that $20,000 will literally be making me hundreds of dollars by just sitting in a savings account. And it's super liquid too, so you don't gotta worry about, having to sell your position, or what if the market goes down. It really doesn't matter. Again, this is money that you're gonna spend anyways. Don't put emergency fund money and say that oh yeah, I was gonna use it for my trip, when you obviously weren't, and then you have to use your emergency fund money, and now you can't pay for the trip, and now you're getting interest on a credit card. Don't do that shit. But you can literally be making hundreds of dollars per month by using 0% interest credit cards when buying big things that you were going to do anyway. The next strategy, besides what I'm talking about with credit card churning, is simply knowing your category multiples, right? So a lot of credit card companies will reward you for different categories. For example, my Robinhood card is really good for overall things. It gives you 3% back on everything. So that's pretty good for my early credit. Again, I've only had credit for about 2 years now, so I'm pretty newbie. But what's crazy is I've literally made thousands of dollars off of these cards. And part of the reason is using that category bonus, right? So certain cards, you'll get like 4 or 5% back on gas or restaurants. So if you're gonna go to a gas station or a restaurant anyways, use a card that will give you extra points, and that arbitrage there can add up over time. It might not seem significant at first, but again, this is a low friction way of gaining extra money that compounds. Again, this extra money, if you throw this into a brokerage account, I mean, my brokerage account that I've thrown this money into, in and of itself, has made me like $500 just in gains. And that's just like S&P 500 NASDAQ. And that's off of credit card points. The credit card points that I gained have gained me money in the stock market. How crazy is that? I mean, if you're not using this strategy, you're literally losing out on hundreds of dollars for no reason whatsoever. If your credit is good and you got the money, this is a great way to expedite really your wealth building journey. Stacking these up can also, you know, increase your credit score in the long term and will show banks that you're trustworthy. Because again, we're paying back this all, right? You already have the money for all this. You're basically just scamming the credit card companies out of their own money. One of the other things I wanted to know is that some companies will allow you to redeem your points through like gift cards and discounted gift cards at that. The reason why I bring this up is because, let's say for example, you have $20 worth of points, but with that $20, you can get a Amazon gift card and only spend $17 of points. So you just made $3 difference of points, which is like $100 worth of purchases at a 3% card. If you take that money that you're gonna spend anyway, so let's say you spend that $20 on that gift card, and what you do is you take money from your savings or whatever you're gonna use to buy that thing anyways, and you take that $20 and put it into the market, you've essentially saved 15% on your purchase, and you didn't actually lose any of your points that would have gone to investing. So it's a win-win. The one I use for that is a Discover card, I believe. It's a Discover It card. I could be wrong about that. Honestly, I have so many at this point because I keep opening them for churning that I can't even keep track of them all. Which is great because you just put on auto pay or you check your apps and you'll never miss a payment. And as long as you're strategic about how much you open them, it won't affect your credit. I have around a 800 credit score, and I probably have like 10 lines of cards, and I've had credit for 2.5 years. So this is a great way to sort of supercharge your wealth building journey by getting cash back and by investing your gains, and mainly investing all of the rewards that you get for these credit cards, because I'm telling you right now, those rewards you're getting on spending can compound over time exponentially. As I'm going through all these steps, I've noticed that, hey, even if you just take one section of this, and let's say you save $25 a month using credit cards, over the long term, imagine you invested that $25 a month every month from the time you were 20 till the time you retired. Let's say, for example, at 65. With just credit card reward points, or just $25 cash back, right? You can have an extra $250,000 in retirement. And doing some quick math, that's about an extra 10 grand a year you could be spending in retirement with a 4% withdrawal rate. Just from passive income, completely just doing absolutely nothing other than applying to cards and using them responsibly. This is the power of the credit card. So let's go through some scenarios. Let's say you spend $10,000 a year. Maybe that's, and on a 3% card, let's say that's your average cash back, that's $300 a year. And let's say you can get an extra $300 a year from using all the other strategies, opening up cards, 0% financing. With just that alone, spending $10,000 and opening up maybe a card a year, you can have about 50 extra dollars per month that you can invest in the stock market. And again, if you do that for your entire life, just passively, let's just, extrapolate it out. That's $500,000 extra using credit cards. Now, of course, life isn't going to be perfect. The deals might run dry, whatever, etc., etc. But even if you cut that in half and then cut that in half again, it's still going to be over an extra $100,000 in retirement completely passively for doing absolutely no different purchasing than that you would have actually done in the first place. So you can essentially think that every year you can probably save $1,000, anywhere from $600 to $1,000 if you do this relatively low scale. And over the long term, that builds significantly. So I'd highly recommend you guys get into credit card churning and really using your points wisely and really finessing the system, especially in the beginning, because realistically, this isn't going to make you wealthy, but what it can do is supercharge your journey. Again, imagine how much an extra $50 a month compounded over decades could give you in your lifetime. That could pay for a lot of your living expenses in retirement if you just want to live a middle-class lifestyle. Or hey, maybe it pays for a dinner a year if you're more high class. But still, either way, credit cards are an amazing tool. Don't listen to all the propaganda against them as long as you are disciplined. Big caveat. Obviously, if I need to tell you that, you need to click off this video and go to Dave Ramsey. Anyways, y'all, hopefully this video is useful, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.